Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Webtoon Book Club. Today's story, House of Stars. Don't really have much of an intro to say about this story other than it's interesting. So, let's get into it. Story starts with our main character in her house with her grandmother that we find out is a ghost or a hallucination or something. But that's not too important for the time being. But she goes out and she comes across her friend. And while she's going through town, she is warned, do not go into the forest because that's where the green men are. And they will take you away. And you will never be seen again. Well, her and her friend go into the forest. And they come across a pond where they come across a green man. Where they then start running away from him. And the friend, I believe, ends up tripping. Well, the main character manages to get out of the forest, but tries to gain the courage to go back to get her friend. When she does that, she's nowhere to be found. When she gets back to the village, she tries to get people to help find her lost friend. But everybody seems to not know who she's talking about. Almost as if they have no idea who she's talking about. They are acting essentially like she never existed at all. So she gathers up some things, goes back into the forest, finds the pond and the green man again, and chases him through the pond. Where she comes out into a world of complete darkness. And she finds herself in a small village of weird small creatures, kind of like the fairies from Nino Kuni. Just small little creature beings. Who tell her that everybody that gets taken by the green guy gets taken into the queen's castle. So she goes into the queen's castle to find her friend, where she ends up getting captured and taken to the queen. Pleading for her life, the queen decides to, pleading for her life, but also demanding to get her friends back. The queen decides to give her some tasks. She has to complete 3 tasks, and she'll be allowed to go free with her friend. The first task is to grab, I think, the comb or something of Rapunzel. So they end up so her and the green guy end up going to the Rapunzel's story, where she easily finds the comb. But as soon as she picks up the comb, apparently that disrupts the story, and the story tries to eat them through this black goo. And the only way to stop it is by completing the story. So she does something to complete the story, and they are able to get out. Sorry for that, I had to sneeze. So the queen then gives her her second task. Find a story that she has never read before. So our main character and the green guy go to the library, where she's searching for a story, but doesn't know which would be the right one. But then she has an idea. Grab a story of her own. And apparently this library is gigantic. It's huge because apparently the queen has been stealing books from the human world and keeping them for herself. So our main character goes back to her home with the green guy in tow, because he's supposed to be watching over her to make sure she doesn't sneak off or something. And she's actually doing what she's supposed to. So she goes back to her place, where they then spend the night there. But she grabs a book from her little bookshelf. And she comes across her hallucination grandma or whatever, giving some advice And also there might her growing attraction towards the green guy. But whatever. So they go back, give the queen the book. And she's satisfied by this. She's going to give her some time before the third task. In the third task, I don't believe we actually find out what it is. But she ends up sneaking out and finding this, like, camp. I believe a soldier's camp. And she ends up finding out that the queen was supposed to marry this prince who ruled the land before. And the queen apparently stole the heart of the prince or something like that. So our main character's job now is to get the prince's heart back and give it to the prince. I think it's something along those lines. I may be completely misremembering everything about this story at this point. Mainly because at this point, things get a bit weird. But basically, she frees the prince, who then confronts the queen, and the queen still kind of in love with this guy, but also powerless to stop him from doing whatever to her. She basically gives up willingly. And uh once the prince is back in power and the queen's power is no longer keeping it in darkness, the daytime finally comes and the kingdom is once again shared in vast light and sunshine, whatever. The main character goes back home with the green guy and they become a couple. And that's basically where the story ends. Like I said, it's been a while since I read this, so it's a bit of a mess in my head of what actually occurs towards the end. But like I said, it's a bit messy, so regardless, what's interesting about this story is what you find at the end of the series is apparently the author made a playlist on Spotify that's supposed to go along with the story. The problem about that is it's not, I don't believe it's original songs. I think it is just simply music that she put together. So good luck figuring out what's supposed to go with what scene. Or if you even want to listen to it at all, because I didn't. And I probably wouldn't have anyway. But that's all I really have to say about the story. It's interesting. It's a good little short journey. Nothing too fantastical or much. Just small little story that covers a good amount. Just something small and entertaining. It's certainly not bad by any means. It's fairly good. I would just say it's a good solid 7 out of 10. It's not the best story. It's not one of the best stories I've read, but it certainly is nowhere near the worst. Which, heck, there isn't too many bad stories I've actually read on Webtoon. But there are some, and you'll definitely know when we get to them. There is one I think we've already got to, which I would say, in itself, overall isn't a bad story. It's just hard to get through, and the ending kind of ruins it. But that was what was it? Dear X. Yeah, Dear X was that. There was another one where along the same lines. Hard to read through just because of everything going on, and the ending just kind of ruins it. At least for me. Anyway, so we got for this one. So, List of stories is in the link description below. Pick which one you would like to talk about next and vote for it in the comments. And I will see you all next time.